All right, we are live. Good evening, parents and students, or juniors and seniors. All right, we are live. Good evening, parents and students, or sorry, it was on, did not pause that. Dr. Wilson, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. So to all of the parents and the students that are out there, welcome. This is our virtual senior parent night. And the goal for tonight is to try to answer as many questions as we can to help you kickstart your child's last year in high school, or at least at Quinta High School. You have a lot of folks that are prepared to answer your questions. And if you would like, there's a private chat, or at some point we will simply ask if you have questions. But let me take a step back. I am Rudy Wilson. I'm the principal at Quinta High School. And I am super excited to start the school year because for the first time in a while, we have something that looks like normal school. And I can tell you, being on campus for the past 3 weeks or so, the kids are excited. The staff is excited, and there's a lot of phenomenal things that are going on. And so we welcome you here tonight. And again, I encourage you to ask as many questions as you need. For those of you that know others who were not able to make it tonight, they will have access to this feed at some point as they need it, and we'll talk about that more. So I'm going to step aside and introduce Miss Michelle Morales to sort of kick it off.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Morales. I'm one of the 6 counselors here at Quinta High School. And I think, Miss Aguirre, you had a few words you wanted to say.
Yeah. I'm just excited that everyone is joining us today and getting to know some information to prepare you for your senior year. I am going to take a minute to announce or introduce all of our counselors. First of all, I am Nicole Aguirre. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Quinta High School. I oversee the counseling department. So Michelle, do you want to bring them back on? I know you just kind of took them off, but this is Michelle Morales, one of our amazing counselors. We also have Mr. Antonio Rodriguez, one of our new counselors to Quinta High School. And we have Mr. Alfonso Olachea, another amazing counselor, and Miss Elva Pena. And our lead counselor, Miss Maribel Beltran. And Miss Chavero, one of our new counselors to Quinta High School this year. And we do have one other guest with us, Miss Diana Cruz, who is our career guidance specialist, and she'll be sharing some information with you guys later on this evening. So I do want to share a couple things with you guys tonight. One, I just want to let you know that we are no longer using Google Classroom for all of our updates. We are going to be utilizing our Quinta High School Counseling Instagram for all of our announcements, important information, things that you guys need to know. And most of the time, we will refer you back to the counseling website, which you can access through Quinta High School's main website. We'll be posting all information there so that you have easy access to this presentation will be there, and lots of other things that you can navigate to prepare you for senior year. So tonight we're going to do a couple things. We're going to review graduation requirements as well as your post-secondary options. So what are your options after high school? What does that look like? College applications and financial aid. One of the biggest questions for parents and students is being able to afford post-secondary education. I will skip to the next one. So as we kind of navigate planning for tonight, we realized that we were missing the mark on not including some of our juniors. Our seniors get this information, beginning of their senior year, but we also thought it would be important to include our juniors as part of this process to get as much information to prepare them for next school year. So some things to kind of prepare you to have a successful year. This applies to both juniors and seniors. Have a plan. So, lots of deadlines are going to start to creep up on you really soon. We're going to encourage you to use your Blackhawk agenda that you received at the beginning of the school year and mark down your deadlines, things that you have coming up that you should be aware of, just to keep yourself on track and keep yourself accountable for all the different things that you're navigating. school, sports, college applications. Maybe some of you are working, things like that. Attend school regularly. So attendance is crucial. It's so important that you're here. When you're not able to be here, the most important thing that you can do is be logging on to Google Classroom, filling out your agenda as though you were sitting in a seat that day, so that you're keeping yourself, keeping your assignments on track, and making sure that you know what exactly was done that day. Every teacher has a digital daily agenda that you can access in their Google Classroom, so that you can get an idea of what assignments and what was covered that day in class, and keep yourself as up to date as you possibly can. Communicate with your teachers, most important. So advocate for yourself. If you are out, when you do return, make sure that you're having that conversation with your teachers. What do you need to do to catch back up and get yourself back on track before you fall too far behind? The other bonus that's coming soon is office hours, which we will begin here in the next few weeks. So you'll also have an opportunity twice a week to be able to communicate with teachers and attend some classes and enrichment to be able to keep yourself on track. Paying attention to deadlines. So again, I'll go back to what I already mentioned about utilizing the agenda. It's so important for you to have a calendar of dates, what needs to be completed when, so that you can keep yourself on track. Get involved. So it's really important to make your junior and senior year the best possible year that you've had here at La Quinta High School. Get involved in as much as you can. Like Dr. Wilson mentioned, it feels like somewhat of a normal year this year, and we're so excited to be able to start the year with all activities up and running and fully functioning. So go to football games, go to dances, join a club. They just did Club Rush the last couple of days, and just do as much as you can to get involved in everything. And then last but not least, enjoy your school year. So it's going to fly by. Soon you're going to be thinking, what happened? How did I get here? And I'm about to walk the graduation stage. And so just enjoy every minute of it. And if you need support, that's what we're here for. So we're going to walk you through a lot of different deadlines and a lot of different things tonight. But just know that we are always here to answer any questions through email. You can walk into the counseling office. We're here to support you and make sure that you're successful in high school and whatever you decide to do post-secondary. So first up, I'm going to introduce Miss Giselle Chavero, and she is going to be talking about what you need to do to graduate.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So today, in the next few slides, I'm going to discuss the requirements, the credits that you will need to make sure that you guys are going to graduate. Okay, so on the next slide, in order, as part of the Desert Sands Unified School District, it is a requirement that all seniors that they're fulfilling the 220 required credits. So making sure that you guys are up to date on your credits. We broke it down by how many credits you guys need for each course. So for English, you guys need to have 40 credits. So making sure you guys are enrolled and pass all 4 years of your English. Same as social studies, you guys are going to need 30 credits. So those are 3 years. And you can see the breakdown. So that's going to total 220 credits. We understand that some students are going to have more than those 220 credits, but you guys need to make sure that you guys have at least 220 credits. Keep in mind that every semester that you guys are enrolled in and pass with the passing grade, you guys are receiving 5 credits per semester. I also really wanted to emphasize during the pandemic, there was a bill that was passed, which was known as the AB 104. That was the COVID exceptions. So this bill reduced the amount of credits that were required for seniors to graduate. I wanted to emphasize that this bill no longer applies, as the last class I was able to qualify was the last class of 2022. So the seniors graduating from La Quinta moving forward will be responsible in fulfilling those 220 credits. So if you guys have any questions on the courses, anything like that, please contact your school counselor.
Ms. Chavero, there was a question in the chat just asking, can counselors create a 4-year plan with the students?
Yeah, so there is a 4-year plan that we do meet with students. Seniors, they already know what classes they need to take by senior year. Juniors, will be meeting with them, so making sure that we're breaking down their transcript. So if they're missing any course, they're able to know, and if so, later on in the slides, we'll be able to explain a little bit more on how you guys can make up those credits. But we do work with every single student so that they're aware of which classes that they're taking all 4 years that they're here at La Quinta High School. A great resource to have for parents and guardians is Parent View. So if you guys log into Parent View and you guys go under course history, you guys are able to see the breakdown of the graduation status. So this is just to graduate from La Quinta High School. Later on in this presentation, we're going to go through the A through G requirements, which are the requirements to be eligible to go to a university after high school. But this is a great resource if you guys wanted to see the progress of your student and which classes that they need to make sure that they graduate with the 220 credits. Another great resource to have is this open detailed chart. So it really breaks down on the subjects, how many classes are required to graduate, how many have, and within those classes, how many of your students have already completed those courses, how many are in progress, and how many are remaining. So by the time senior year comes and your schedule is released and you guys have any classes that are remaining, make sure you talk to your counselor so that making sure that you guys are enrolled in Apex or after school during summer, that you guys are aware that you guys are taking those remaining credits. I also wanted to remind PSA families that if you guys are in PSA for the 3 years, 10 credits of PE will be moved from PE to elective credits. So if senior year comes around and there's 10 credits remaining under PE, try not to worry too much. So once we are finishing, that's going to move over to elective credits.
Thank you, Ms. Tavero. So Ms. Tavero was talking about credits, and it's a priority for us to make sure our students are on track, and we do everything we can here to support them. But we do realize that there are courses that are challenging and things that come up, and students are in need of credit recovery. So we wanted to touch upon what those credit recovery opportunities are here at La Quinta High School as a comprehensive high school site. So right now we are offering a 0 period for students that are in need of remediating credits for graduation requirements, or if they're trying to fulfill their A through G requirements. So 0 period is currently an option. We are going to meet with every single senior this month and meet with them individually to go over their credits, make sure they're on track, and talk with them about their post-secondary plans. So we do get that individual time, and we've looked through their transcripts many times already. But if your student voices to us, I didn't want to be A through G, now I do want to be A through G, that's something that we can take advantage of. And juniors, you can take advantage of that as well. So please come see us if that's something you'd like to talk about. We also offer Apex courses. These are online courses where students can remediate classes they've taken prior and either received a D or an F. So they do not take the Apex online program in place of a typical class, like in place of a traditional math class. But if they do fail a course, they're able to utilize that opportunity. We are looking to be able to offer 7th period options as well. So we are creating wait lists of students that need that if they cannot attend the 0 period. So please, again, we'll be talking to students and asking if they can attend and take advantage of that so that we're not waiting until summer to remediate all credits. We wanted to touch upon, so juniors, you can go to summer school. Please don't wait. If you have the opportunity and you can do a 0 period or a 7th period, let's take advantage of that now. But we do offer summer school. Courses vary depending on the staffing, and it's just not guaranteed. So we do our best to meet all of our students' needs, but that is something that does fluctuate. So please take advantage of what you can. Also, in the past, over the last 2 years, COVID changed many things. And so Apex criteria, students moved through some summer school classes at a pretty quick pace. And we want our students to understand that that will not always be the case, that they may need more time to go through Apex courses. And the best course of action is to pass their classes now. So talk to those teachers, get extra tutoring, get support in office hours so that you don't have to do remediation. Ultimately, if students are not on track to graduate, there comes a point, second semester, where we review credits and we talk to students and families about the possibility of referrals to adult ed or alternative ed, I'm sorry. So we have a couple alternative ed sites here that can offer more credit recovery opportunities than we can at the comprehensive school site. And that may be a conversation that we have, but we have several lead up conversations to that. So please be aware it should not come as a surprise. And seniors, if something happens first semester and you fail a course, there are a few opportunities to remediate things. But after second semester, if we're not passing all our classes and hitting that 220, then you'll have to do summer classes and you will not walk on May 24th. So please, please, please don't be in that position. We have all the supports in place to help you, but we just want to make you aware. So I know that's a tough topic, you guys. I'm going to introduce one of my colleagues and they're going to kind of transition from here and make sure we move on to supporting you in your next steps of the journey. So we have Miss Diana Cruz.
Hi, I'm Diana Cruz, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about college, military, and employment. Michelle, we're going to be on slide 11, I think. Are we out there? So, vocational careers and training programs. Vocational career and training programs. What student is this a good fit for? Students who are interested in a career versus a job, or not interested in a 4-year commitment and looking to get into the workforce sooner, or maybe they're interested in a specific trade. What types of programs are there? There are many career-specific training options available to students, such as culinary, automotive, fashion design, cosmetology and barber school, HVAC, or electrician. And there are many other programs available right here in the Coachella Valley. College of the Desert and Riverside County School of Career Education both offer online and various campuses to accommodate the student. When do we apply? Senior year. I encourage these students to do their research on the trade or program they are interested in. Special consideration should be the length of the program, the history of the institution, and if it is accredited, what are the fees, and if they can apply for some type of scholarship, waiver, or if they accept FAFSA. It is a great idea for the student and parent together to weigh out the differences between applying to a trade school or applying to a 4-year college or university. The military service. Who should consider enlisting in the military? Those interested in serving their country, those looking for a career in training and experience, those who are looking for ways to pay for college, and those who want to travel to new places. We have a lot of recruiter information here on the campus. We have Sergeant Trevino of the Marines, we have Sergeant Rosedal of the Air Force, and Sergeant Torres of the Army, who are regularly on the campus to visit and talk to students about the benefits of joining the military or taking the ASVAB test. Here at Quinta High School, we offer the ASVAB test twice a year to all students. It is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. We offer it in the fall and in the spring. Our fall test is coming up this December 6th for those students who want to see how their strengths and weaknesses are measured. I encourage all students to take this test because it provides the students with career information for various occupations and future endeavors, such as college, vocational, or a military career. We have representatives from several branches that the students can talk to and find out what works best for them.
Thank you so much. I believe Ms. Pena was going to go ahead and speak to us now about community colleges and options for students.
Hello, everyone. Real quick, I saw in the chat we had a few questions. One about physical education in regards to varsity sports. Just want to highlight in our first year, we will have a physical education course. And as we continue on in our junior and senior year, if we are in a varsity sport for an NCAA approved sport, one season of our sport counts as one semester of physical education. So if you have multiple sports in different seasons, as long as we've had a discussion with your school counselor prior, noting that you will be at a varsity level, it's approved by the coach, and we do have to make sure that it's added into your schedule that you would be included for those credits. Yes, we can use your varsity sport in your junior and senior year as a physical education semester, one per sport. Again, please reach out to your school counselor so we can have that conversation prior to the school year coming, so we can make sure that it's in your schedule. And as well, I saw a question if we were recording. We are, and this will be available for you to continue to go back to. Now, in regards to post-secondary education, all our students have an account for college or californiacolleges.edu. Once you log in, you can go in through your Google Gmail, your school email, to log in. This is a wonderful resource for multiple reasons, whether to check in your grades, seniors, so you would be able to apply for your applications for colleges, for our financial aid applications. This is a really wonderful spot to jump into, have some of your information transferred over so you do not have to look at your transcript and type in things one-on-one. So californiacolleges.edu, a wonderful resource to get our grades and to help us jumpstart some of our applications. For both juniors and seniors, it's a great resource so that we can go in there, check out some of our options for post-secondary education through putting what we're interested in, where we're thinking about applying to get more information as well. And then next, we're going to talk about community colleges. Overall, within California, we have over 100 different community colleges. Applications open up October 1st. And so it'll be a great way. Obviously, I would say priority, definitely sign in early, whether we're thinking of it as an option. Definitely sign on that October 1st and keep an eye out for any emails for any updates that will be requested from you. You do see a cost right over here within California for students. In California, it's about $46 per unit. For a full-time student, you would be taking 12 units. Granted, some of these community colleges will have different opportunities for you to be able to have some of that cost paid with financial aid applications and other programs that they might offer on campus. And speaking of such, there is ours, College of the Desert. A great opportunity to save funds, an opportunity to continue your education, diving into our post-secondary, our college world, while also knowing you are close to home. One of the things we like to highlight is the Edge and Pledge program. It is for students within the Coachella Valley. You have the opportunity to sign up. It opens in March, where you would be able to apply for Pledge and Edge, where you are saying, I am looking to go to College of the Desert. I know that there is a summer program that happens where we take classes for about 3 weeks to prep us for our education at COD, and through other commitments where you would have your education paid for. Part of that Edge and Pledge opportunity to get your tuition paid for is finishing your financial aid applications. So whether it's FAFSA or it's CADA, your student will complete one of those financial aid applications to meet one of the requirements to have your tuition paid for with that Edge and Pledge program. So just highlighting, there is a summer program for about 3 weeks as one of the requirements, but it's also wonderful because it's preparing you for that transition into college. I'm making a note that they are looking at your GPA, maintaining that 2.0, and obviously challenging yourself to the best you can. So definitely looking at COD as an option. And if you have any questions about our community colleges or COD, definitely let our counselors know. Next, you'll be hearing from Mr. Olachea on our other options that we have for after graduation or high school.
Ms. Pena, there was a question. A lot of students ask if they will get support with the COD applications here at La Quinta.
Yes. So we have some great opportunities coming up, whether it's office hours, you'll have the opportunity to come in to see your counselor. We'll also reference some of the questions while we're meeting during senior evaluations. So keep an eye out on those office hours opportunities that will open up, any presentations we're giving out, and definitely let us know if you have questions as we're leading up to that October 1st opening. And again, same thing, we'll have those abilities to support when March 1st happens for that Edge and Pledge, specifically for COD.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My friend, Mr. Olachea.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ms. Pena, for that very informative, overview. I feel like I learned a lot right now, too, So I do want to just go over a few slides in regards to applying to college and specifically four-year universities. So as some of you or many of you have probably heard A through G requirements. All right. I know we've gone over with Ms. Chavero, the graduation requirements. Now, A through G requirements is something that La Quinta High School really pushes on our students, because we know that our students are more than capable of meeting these requirements. And not only, is it a couple of classes, but at the same time, it's preparing them for their senior year so that they have the various options. We have the military, we have community college, we have employment, but as well, we want them to be able to apply, to any college. If they find a major or something they're interested, we want them to have those opportunities so that they have that option for once they graduate. I do want to go to a 4-year. I do want to continue on. So A through G requirements do require C's or better. The big difference is just the 2 years of foreign language. I know that's sometimes a question, like, why do I need a second year of foreign language? Is it a requirement for graduation? So it's an A through G requirement. So that is why we definitely push the second year of foreign language. And the important part is getting that C or better in that second semester of foreign language. Apart from that, I think most of our ninth graders end up taking a visual or performing art their first year here. And so that typically will meet that requirement. But with both that, including C's or better on basically, and we just, consider all their classes, C's or better. And you can see at the bottom of the screen, the CSUs typically look for GPAs 2.5 or above, whereas in UCs will require a 3.0. And when it comes to private schools, those do vary, and they don't always consider the A through G requirements, but it's always important to just meet them. Students have the capability of having them done in their schedule pretty easily. So scheduling wise, it's very easy, and we know our students can definitely meet these requirements and have those options post-secondary their senior year. And what do we need to apply to for these college applications? So very similar to the FAFSA or financial aid, which I think I'm getting ahead of later in the presentation. But copy of our transcripts, grades, basic information, date of birth, current address, parent or guardian information, and again, the gross income tax for 2021. Here is where the resume piece and component, and this is where all 4 years of high school really come together, because on these college applications, it's our students' opportunity to shine and really show, why they're so unique and the best candidate for their school of choice. This is where we want them to list everything they've been a part of, every hour of community service, every award they've received, every sport they've participated, whether it's, we do have a lot of students doing club activities outside of school as well. Several soccer players, basketball players, playing club sports outside, everything. We want them to list everything. This is where, they get to show off everything they've done and really compete for those spots in colleges. So we definitely help out with all of that. I believe we will be utilizing office hours to hold, like Ms. Pena mentioned, workshops for college applications, along with resume building, just so that we can make sure our students are applying to their schools, and hopefully getting accepted into the schools of their choice. And we can always provide unofficial transcripts. Official transcripts do need to be requested through our registrar, Ms. Erica Estrada, who is amazing and very great at supplying those for our students. And just to touch on one of the four type of 4-year universities, so CSUs, for instance, Cal State San Bernardino, our local Palm Desert campus. So basic requirements, obviously A through G requirements, 2.5 GPA. There is a $70 application fee, but there are waivers available for those that qualify. We do use California colleges, which is really helpful in this because we are able to link student transcripts into the application, and all we do is just verify everything's accurate. But we definitely encourage our students to do research, find a city you want to go to live in for the next 4 years, find a major, the career, match up everything, that way when October 1st comes around, we're ready to apply to the 4 universities that you're interested in. And again, we're here to support and help students in any way we can. And Next slide. So the EOP program. So this is definitely a game changer when it comes to applications. We encourage all our students to apply who are first generation or low income college. There's college students programs that help students transition to college. So we all know that first year of college, you homesick, right? Responsibility, the time management component, all these things are new challenges that arise. So through the EOP program, students are able to receive tutoring, mentoring, at times free supplies such as laptops and books. And there's additional information and support in regards to scholarships and money, right? So when it comes to college, we want that money to pay for it. So the EOP program is a very useful and amazing program that will support students transitioning into college. It is part of the Cal State application, and it does ask questions on student, background, family background, and there is where, do your best to just elaborate. That's where they do look and read everything so that, they choose the correct students for that program. But definitely we encourage our first generation students to complete that EOP application.
Yeah, I think some of those questions, they're definitely, they are personal regarding your family. And so the students are going to need your support to answer those questions. But the goal with that program is just to provide them support in being successful. So parents, your seniors especially, they're going to need to ask you a few things, and they're going to need your timeliness in that. So you could definitely support them by being available and helping them out. We're going to bring on Miss Beltran, and she's going to be talking a little more about the UC systems and their process. Bye, Mr. Olachea.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to be talking to you about UC's admissions. So like Mr. Olachea mentioned earlier, we try to set all of our students up for success by making sure that they meet A through G requirements, and so that at the end of their senior year, they're able to apply if they want to, right? So UC admissions requires a 3.0 or higher. Of course, we always encourage our students to have higher than a 3.0, because you also have to keep in mind that universities receive tons and tons of applications with students that have, 3.0s. So we encourage our students to provide more information about their extracurricular activities, their community service, because UCs want to see that a student is able to balance school, work, and their social life. So we encourage everyone to reach higher than a 3.0. Applications open up October 1st, and you can apply through californiacolleges.edu. What will they need to apply? They will need unofficial transcripts. As counselors, we can definitely provide unofficial transcripts. They will be asked towards the end of the school year to submit an official transcript, and an official transcript can only be given by Ms. Erica Estrada, our registrar. So I just want you to really note that she's the only one that can provide an official transcript. They will also be asked to write personal insight questions or answer a couple questions. Some of our English teachers have already been working with our students on answering these personal insight questions. This is where universities will, they look at to see if a student is going to be a good fit to their campus. So we highly encourage students to proofread their work, to bring it to us to proofread, to have you, their parents, read over them. It's really important that, they take these personal insight questions seriously. You also will be asked to list awards and accomplishments, any community service that you've done, and like I mentioned earlier, extracurricular activities. I also want to clarify something in regards to the ELC. Last year, some students, which were at our top 9% students, were asked to fill out a form because that would guarantee our students eligibility into a UC campus. So in order for you to maintain eligibility, you need to make sure that you apply to at least one UC campus. But what that means is, and I just want to give you a brief example. So last year we had a student that applied to Berkeley, UCLA, UCR, and UC San Diego, and they did not get into any of the 4 colleges that they applied to. However, UC Merced sent them a letter and said, because you're guaranteed eligibility into a UC, we have room at our UC campus. So, you're welcome to come to our campus. So that's what that means. It doesn't mean that you're going to get into one of the UCs that you apply to, is that you will be guaranteed a spot somewhere. So I just want to make sure that I clarified that. And also, you have to maintain your grades, and you have to maintain your be at the top 9% of your class. And I think that's pretty much it for this slide, Ms. Morales. So now I'm going to be talking about private universities. So where do you apply? You definitely have to check their school website, and the most common one that we use is the commonapp.org. And when do you apply? You really have to look at their website. Rolling admissions start in September, and then keep in mind that deadlines vary. You will need a transcript, an unofficial transcript, letters of recommendation. You will need 2 from a teacher and 1 from your counselor, a personal essay, and again, you will have to list your awards and extracurricular activities and community service. We do encourage our students to start early. We want to make sure that we write you the best letter of recommendation. However, if you wait until, December to ask us for this letter of recommendation, we will probably not be able to write you the best letter because we're receiving everyone else's requests. So we want you to start early and, ask your counselor as soon as possible and ask those teachers as soon as possible for a letter of rec. And I think that's it. Oh, so now I'm going to be talking about SAT and ACT. So who requires the SAT? Right now, there are several private schools that are still requiring the SAT and ACT. Please make sure that you check the website. A lot of out-of-state colleges and universities, Cal States and UCs are in California are currently, they don't care if you submit your SAT or ACT scores, so they're test blind. So just make sure that if you're going to apply to an out-of-state college or university, that you check their website for SATs. And definitely our NCAA students will need to provide SAT scores. So please make sure that if you're a student athlete that you register for the SAT and just get it done and over with as soon as possible. I know we have one coming up in October. We are pretty sure that October 1st is already full in our area, but you can definitely try to find a different location like in Orange County or LA area for this. And also keep in mind that some scholarships will require your SAT scores as well. So if you look here on our slide, you will be able to see the different dates of when you can register. And then keep in mind that there is also fee waivers for these, and you can see Mr. Leon in the counseling office for this. And now Ms. Morales will be talking about NCAA.
Yeah, once a long time ago, I was a student athlete. So I get the pleasure of, going over and reviewing that with you guys. We do our best to get to know our students as much as possible. We try to get out to the football games, the softball games. But what we don't know is how serious our students are about continuing in their sports. So we may know that they play baseball or football, wrestling, but they're not always forthcoming in telling us, like, I actually may want to pursue this at the college level. And if they do, there are certain requirements that we need to check for and make sure they're fulfilling in order for them to be eligible to play at the collegiate level with organizations like the NCAA and NAIA. So Ms. Beltran just mentioned it. If your student is interested in playing with NCAA, they do require SAT scores. We offered that in March last year. So all our current seniors had at least one opportunity. If they're looking to better their scores and did not sign up for the October 1st date, they can sign up for the November 5th SAT that will be offered here. The sooner the better, because like Ms. Beltran said, in the local area, the October test sold out, and we just don't want that to happen. So athletes, even if you're not sure you're going to get recruited, make sure you're at least fulfilling the qualifications and double check with us. Juniors, you should let us know. When we pull you in the office to talk with you, just tell us, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make it, or I know I'm going to make it. Hopefully that's the case. I'm going to play in college, and I need to make sure I'm fulfilling NCAA requirements. We have to look and make sure they fulfill their core courses in addition to taking those tests. So please communicate with your counselors on that, guys. Let's see, Mr. Rodriguez. So college is expensive, and our colleague, Mr. Rodriguez, is going to come up. He's going to talk to you guys about affording college and how you can make a plan.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, Blackhawk families. I'm Mr. Rodriguez. Ms. Morales, if I can have the next slide, please. So really quick, before we get into the big green elephant in the room, let's talk about what happens after a student applies. So the student will receive a confirmation via their email. Please make sure that if they apply to multiple schools, they are activating their portals for each and every one of those schools that they're applying to. It's going to be very important that they check their portals often. They will get those admissions decisions beginning in December all the way up to April, and that will be sent via email. Come May 1st, the student will have to sign their intent to register and pay by May 1st. In the event that a student decides to pay their deposit for one school and does not attend that school, please keep in mind that that university that they already paid for will keep their deposit. And come July 1st, have your students request their official final transcripts from our registrar so they can have all the information they need to attend their universities. All right, time to talk about the money. So how are we going to afford post-secondary education? So there are two different applications that your student can apply to. One is the financial FAFSA, and the other one is the California DREAM Act application. They both open in October of their senior year, and they offer student and parent loans, free money, which is money that you will not pay back. So that's via federal grants, Cal grants, California College Promise Grants, which is formerly known as the Board of Governors waiver, or what we call the BOG. And your student can also do work study, which is going to be working on campus so they can help pay off their tuition. For scholarships, which I highly recommend, we have local base, for example, the La Quinta High School Senior Profile, One Future Coachella Valley, and the Dr. Carrion, which are some of the local scholarships that are offered. And we also have national-based scholarships. So please make sure you check the La Quinta High School website for that information. In addition to those, we have institutional, university-based, and QuestBridge. Students and parents, please plan to apply for scholarships. The more you apply, the higher the chances are. There's tons of money that is left on the table for these students. So please make a goal to complete 2 to 3 applications per week throughout the school year. So I would recommend beginning in October all the way up until May. So what is FAFSA or CATA? FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. This, if you're a U.S. citizen, legal permanent resident, you qualify for the FAFSA. The CATA is the California DREAM Act application. That is for our undocumented students or students who have a valid or expired DACA and meet the AB 540 requirements. filing the FAFSA or the CATA is required to access the first free 2 years at College of the Desert, and 90% of all scholarships, including athletic, merit, and non-merit-based scholarships, come from these applications. Seniors, the application opens October 1st and closes March 2nd. So think about it as a big pot of gold. So the sooner you apply, the better for you. And for our junior families that are tuning in, please be aware that this will be a grad requirement for your graduating class of 2024. And what do you need to apply to FAFSA or CATA? You need the student and parent social security numbers. You need the student's driver license number. If it's applicable, the parent's social security numbers and date of births, the parent's taxes, which is the class of 2023 will use the parents' 2021 tax forms, is what they call prior. So they'll be using that information. Records of any additional financial information for parents, including child support paid or received, alimony received or paid, investment information, businesses owned and financials, and a list of schools students are interested in attending. So if your student has already said, you know what, I have a list of 10 schools that I want to go to, please make sure that they are listing those schools on there so they can have that information sent to them.
Mr. Rodriguez, can a student file the FAFSA or CATA if their parents don't have a social security number?
Yes, they can.
Awesome.
All right, so we're going to determine, are we going to determine the total cost of attendance? So once you apply for financial aid in October, you're going to have to follow a couple of more steps. You're going to have to create a Web Grants account. So that's going to be on your Web Grants for Student portal. Once you create that account, you're going to select what university you want to send your financial information to. Keep in mind that once you set that, they will receive that information, and that's how they create their financial aid packets. So students, just a reminder, you receive your college acceptances between December and March, and make sure you review the financial award package in each of the students' college portals. Once again, it's important to keep checking those portals because a lot of information is sent via those portals. And in the event that you don't check them, you run the risk of no longer being part of that university. So this should include financial information, FAFSA information, and if it doesn't, call the school's financial aid office and inquire directly with them to determine the actual cost of attendance. I know your school counselors, as school counselors, we can assist, but the experts are the financial aid counselors at the colleges that you are applying to and that you've been accepted to. So make sure you jump on it early and call to, closer to the May 1st deadline. And keep in mind that they are busier the longer you wait.
I think that was a huge concern. So last year we had a lot of students that waited to check their portals. They waited to check their financial aid packages, and they were calling schools, a day or two before that May 1st deadline. And the offices at the colleges were so impacted. So whenever you can, as soon as you receive your student finds out, hey, I got accepted here. That's amazing. And we're really excited. Then the next step is really looking at that financial aid package and deciding they got accepted. Now, can we afford for them to go? What are they offering? There was a question in the chat earlier about EFC and what is EFC? Is that how much I pay every year? Is that how much I have to pay in total? Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yes. So your EFC is what they call a expected family contribution. So the expected family contribution will be based on your income. So the higher the income, the more you pay. The lower the income, the more financial aid you get. Will you have to pay it all at once? That's information or questions you can ask the university. Once they would be able to give you all that information. But think about it, once you see the EFC, because once you complete the financial aid application or FAFSA, you will see the expected family contribution. Some of you might see 000 all across the board. That means that you're going to get granted the maximum amount of financial assistance. If you have any number in there, that basically equates into the dollar amount that you're expected to pay out of pocket as a family. So If you have any additional questions regarding that, once again, I would suggest you reach out to the financial aid advisors at the colleges that your students are applying to and being accepted to.
You're amazing. Thank you. All right, let me get my slides back up here. So we know we're covering a lot of information, and we want to make sure that we hit upon everything, and you guys as parents, you can support your students with the timelines. It's a busy time, so it's great to tackle the to-do list a little bit at a time. If you have a half hour here, 20 minutes there, your student can jump on to the UC application, start working on a few sections of it, save their progress, come back later. And if you can divide everything up, between the college applications, the financial aid application, and then next steps into littler pieces, it's going to be a lot less stressful for your student and for your family. But we are here to support you. So this coming month in October, this is college kickoff month. And we are excited about office hours, but we also will be using some lunchtime opportunities to provide workshops and really get in depth to support students on senior profile development. That's a great local scholarship opportunity. Every student applying to college should fill out a senior profile. We'll get into the individual institution applications, so the Cal States, UCs, and Common App. And then you'll see some other supports that we'll be offering. So if the student's doing well in classes, we're going to offer those opportunities in office hours. So make sure they're checking us out there. We even will be inviting some college representatives and military reps to come and speak with the students, and they can ask them right then and there some questions about their institution and talk with actual college advisors. So we really look forward to the month of October. It's very much a counseling driven month, and it's a time where we really get to work one-on-one with your kids, and we really, really enjoy that. One opportunity that we didn't want to miss out on encouraging everybody to take advantage of is the upcoming College and Career Fair that's going to be hosted in Rancho Mirage at Agua Caliente. So this is a huge opportunity in the Coachella Valley on Thursday, October 6th. The event, I apologize, it's actually 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So it's a longer evening, so ample time if you're out of work early or need to get over there a little bit later. Families can go. They just need to register. My college fair, I believe it's .com, Ms. Cruz, correct me if I'm wrong. But we're also hosting a bus. So for students that need transportation and want to go, they get to talk to college representatives. They get to hear about new colleges. We have career technical programs there, employers. It's really a good chance for them to ask questions and find out firsthand from individual universities, what are you looking for in a student? Or what do you have to offer me that would fit my needs and my interests? So your student can pick up a permission slip from the counseling office, bring that back to us by September 30th. And we're hoping not to have just one, but 2 busloads of students come to join us and take advantage of that opportunity coming up on October 6th. So save the date. What is all this for? Well, for the class of 2023, this is all about leading up to graduation and walking the stage and celebrating on May 24th. We are a little early this year, so we can't wait to see your students walk and support them on that night. Juniors, you're right around the corner. This is where we want to offer you an opportunity. Please feel free to use the YouTube chat if there's any additional questions that we may not have answered. And as always, you can reach out to us by email or using the Google form found on the counseling website. Let me go ahead and bring my colleagues up and we can answer some questions for you. Okay. So Gary, did you see any questions in the chat box that have not been addressed yet?
I think we answered most of the questions that are there.
Okay. One that I thought was a really great question, and I don't know how much everybody's able to read, was when and who should I ask for letters of recommendation?
Now. You should start now. I think I can't stress that enough, because last year we were bombarded with like requests for letters of rec. and we get really busy. You know, we just want to make sure that you are on top of it as soon as possible so that you can get the most amazing letter of rec. If we get it too close to the deadline, you're not the only one waiting until that final deadline. You will most likely get a generic letter. So if you want to ensure that you get the best well-written letter of rec, please make sure that you request it as soon as possible.
Yeah. The question was, can my junior request a letter of recommendation this year? Yeah, please. If you're a sophomore, a junior, and you really connect and feel like you shine in a class and the teacher's got a chance to get to know your capabilities, please ask them for a letter. I think it's great to hold on to them. Ask for that letter. You want to get one printed copy and then get a PDF to save on file. If you have a coach, an employer, someone that just knows you really well and can, you know, speak to your soft skills outside of the classroom as well. You know, are you a strong collaborator, a strong team player? Are you a leader off the field? So utilize all those different opportunities and ask in the moment as you're making those connections. I think that's going to be great.
I also think that it's a good idea for juniors to start now because senior teachers also get several requests and they're stressed out, overwhelmed trying to get those done. So yes, we highly encourage you as a junior to get started on those for sure.
So the question, where will we post this video? It will be available on YouTube. Mr. Olache is going to help link it to our counseling website as well. So it'll be stored there and you can go back and view parts of it. You know, lots of information you can fast forward. That's the great part about doing this live and being on YouTube. There was one other question that was hard to answer in the chat, just regarding concurrent enrollment. And I think that particular person knows a lot about concurrent enrollment, but we may have a lot of students that don't know what that is. And I think for juniors, concurrent enrollment is a great opportunity. Does anybody want to speak to that? You guys want me to talk? I can jump in. So concurrent enrollment is when a high school student is taking college courses. And COD does offer the opportunity for anyone over the age of 16 to take enrichment courses at COD. They do need to demonstrate that they are successful in their high school coursework. So they look for a 3.0 GPA. It's a great chance, especially summer between junior and senior year. If you're looking for a chance to dive into a different subject that maybe we don't offer, maybe you're interested in film or business, sociology, I don't know, I'm looking for some different opportunities here, but you can take electives at COD. You can take American Sign Language. Talk to us. We will support you in filling out the COD application. And then there's a concurrent enrollment form that would need to be signed by your counselor and administrator, and just make sure that you fulfill all of their criteria. But it is a really great opportunity, and we can post that on your high school transcript, and colleges will see this is a student that's being successful in college coursework while they're in high school. So that's a great thing to show universities that you're mature enough and responsible enough to handle that. So concurrent enrollment is a great opportunity for our students. I'm really grateful for that question. What is the website to register for the College Career Fair? Ms. Cruz, can you help us out?
You can go to mycollegefair.com and you can see what CSUs will be there, what UCs, what military will be there, what job opportunities. You can register there. You can find the hours, all this good information about what tables will be set up, the times where you can park. Everything is on that website. So go to mycollegefair.com and look at the information there.
You're amazing. Well, I think that's it. Parents, please keep the questions coming. Seniors, we look forward to meeting with you soon. We do meet with juniors one-on-one in the spring. So we look forward to that as well. Our office is open before then too. So before school, lunch, after school, great times to catch us. And we thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.